and gentlemen, please welcome Alex Mackenzie.
Prince George, how are you guys doing? Oh my God, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. This is amazing. Beautiful. So you guys, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Alex. I've been described as a happiness cheerleader. Yeah, kind of like a Labrador retriever. So if anyone here needs anything, let me know. I'd love to go get it for you, all right? Now, people also tell me that I look like a shitty version of everybody. Yeah, dude, I get like Russell Brand with a lisp. Yeah. Or like a Wish.com Jason Momoa. Yeah, dude, before I lost weight, people called me Fat Jon Snow. Yeah. And now I lost the weight, no one says I'm the hot, sexy version. But my favorite one, you guys, is Jesus with a day job. Yeah. Dude, I thought about it, right? I'm like, me and Jesus have more in common than how we look, right? Like, both of us go around talking to people, trying to gain a following. The difference is I do stand-up comedy, and I actually wrote my own material. Yeah. Jesus was just doing a book tour for his dad. Yeah. So you guys, I grew up here in Prince George. It's very beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, I love it. So it's like yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, dude, so fun. Dude, it's so fun. So this is like, you can probably tell by the people yelling out, this is like a small town in northern BC, but now I live in one of our biggest cities, so I'm like a domesticated hillbilly. Yeah, like I'll wear a three-piece suit to go siphon gas. Yeah. And then I'll sell the gas to go buy a non-milk milk latte. Now, because of this, I have like two different groups of friends, right? I got like my city friends, and then I have my hillbilly friends. And I will tell you guys, my hillbilly friends are my funnest friends, dude. Yeah. Like, if both groups are planning an activity and you can only go with one, go with the hillbillies every time. Dude, they're so much funner. They'll do way cooler shit. They'll be like, dude, let's pool our money together, go buy an old car and flip it in the gravel pit. As where all my city friends will be like, let's start a podcast. They're like, I hope our podcast blows up. My hillbilly buddies are like, dude, I hope this car blows up. You ever heard of Tannerite? It's like C4, but you need a bullet. It's so fun, dude. You can even give them the same activity, like same item, you know? Like if you give them each like a stack of pallets, my city buddies would be like, ooh, let's do a Pinterest project and build a bed. As where all my hillbilly friends are like, let's light it on fire and jump it with dirt bikes. And the reason why hillbillies are so much funner is very simple. It's because they're willing to do unsafe shit, right? Because the less safe something is, the funner it is, right? Like, we've all been to the fair. What's the funnest ride at the fair? The zipper, exactly. The one that looks like it's gonna fall apart, right? Because you don't know how it's gonna end, and that's exciting. And if a hillbilly's not willing to do something unsafe, very, very easy to swing them. All you gotta do, you just take a step back, cross your arms, and go, what, are you scared? He goes, no, bro, I'm not scared. I'm just a little tired from banging your girlfriend last night, that's all. So it's pretty fun. So oh boy. So I'm 34 years old, you guys, and I live in a van. Yeah, dude. Amazing, yeah. People always ask me, dude, they're like, what's it like to live in a van? If you wanna know, go into any room in your house, shut the door. Now live in that. And then when you're like, this sucks, I want out, you can't. Now, I'm in like a super weird age to be living in a van, because I'm in my like mid-30s, so it's like, you know, I'm too old to be like the 20-year-olds that are like flip-flopping in their board shorts, like, van life. But I'm too young to be like the old people who like missed out on their whole life. So they're like, we bought a van to try and make up for lost time. So now I'm just in this weird middle ground where people are like, he's poor, you know? I mean, that's how they used to look at me. But now with inflation and these gas prices, oh, dude, people look at me like I'm loaded. Yeah. They're like, check out Mr. Bezos over there in his land yacht. Yeah, cruising, buddy. Dude, so it's so fun. Like, I didn't always live in a van. I used to own a house, and it sucked, dude. They're like so expensive, and like shit's always breaking. It was like the fridge would quit, the roof was leaking. My house was the only thing I know of that had more problems than me. Yeah. So I sold it, bought a van. Turns out all the problems a house can have, yeah, so can a van. And now your problems follow you. Which is a nice feature about a house, you guys. It's always where you left it, right? Dude, last summer my van got impounded. It was so embarrassing. I had to call my mom, and I was like, Mom, you're never gonna believe this, but I live in a gated community now. It's so fun. I live in my van with my dog, Finley. He's a little chocolate lab, dude. Oh, I love him. He's a sweetheart, man. He's the best. But because he's a lab, he like sheds all the time. So I always have to like lint roller my clothes. And I think lint rollering your clothes in front of your dog is like taking your wedding ring off in front of your wife, you know? Because he's just looking at me and he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, are you going to see other dogs or something? You don't want him knowing you got a good dog at home? And that's my favorite game to play with my dog. It's like I just look at him and I go like, what are you thinking, you know? It's the best. And it's like, I think both of us think each other are weirdos, you know? Because I'm like, he must think I'm weird that I like follow him around and like pick up his poo, right? He's like, why does he do that? But at the same time, like I think he's weird because he cleans up my puke, you know? So, who's to say who the weird one here is, right? Yeah. Now, I always think it's funny with dogs, because we love them so much, but like they've done nothing. Like my dog hasn't said a word in 13 years, you know? We just love them. Like if that was your partner, they would be the most deadbeat partner of all time, right? Like you go to work all day, you come home and they're just sitting there like, hey, what's for dinner? By the way, I shit on the floor. But we just love them so much. And I've come up with like 2 reasons why I think we love dogs so much. And the first reason is they rarely complain, right? Like my dog, he can be like 3 a.m., he could be in a dead sleep. I could walk over to him, just smack him in the belly and be like, get up, we're going. And he's like, whoa, sorry, Dad, what are we doing? And I'm like, you do that to a friend, he's gonna have at least 3 questions for you, right? He's gonna be like, why did you hit me? Where are we going? And why are you naked? Now, the other reason why we love dogs is because we have such low expectations of them, right? Like my dog can do the most pedestrian a task. Like if I only have to call him 3 times and he comes, I'm like, wow, Finley, you're so smart. You're just so smart. That compared to what, a stapler? Like, if that was your kid, he'd be a moron, you know? 13 years old, barely knows his name, can't sit still, shits in the house. You're like, what are you doing? No, it's funny, because I live with my dog in my van. My buddies, every time I come home, my buddies are always like, dude, you must like pick up so many chicks, like touring around the country in your van with your dog doing comedy. Like, let me give you guys a little tip, okay? If you wanna pick up chicks, I'm like, don't quit your job, sell your house, and then move into one on wheels, okay? Do you know how hard it is to get a girl into a white van? Yeah, with tinted windows. Like, they've been warned about this their whole life. And I'm like, but don't worry, miss, there's a puppy inside. Like, that's what the kidnappers say. Although I will tell you, ladies, I did think it was gonna be easy to get a girlfriend, because when I go online, and all the girls' online profiles, they're like, I love travel, and camping, and adventure. Like, then get in the van. It's so fun. So me and my girlfriend, we actually broke up during COVID, you guys, which is really sad, mostly because I'm still calling her my girlfriend. Yeah, but I'm taking it very well, because if I'm honest with you, not my first breakup over a virus. I love it, dude. Dude, breakups are so tough though, right? Like breakups hurt. I think breakups are the most painful thing in the world. That's actually how I measure pain. Like I went and saw the doctor the other day because I was having like back pain, and he was like, hey, can you like give me an idea how much it hurts? I was like, well, doc, on a scale of like Jaleese to Becca, it's like a Kayla, but not quite a Michaela, you know? But I am getting better at dealing with the breakups. I started going to therapy a lot. So it turns out, yeah, it's good stuff, right? People helping people, powerful stuff. So it turns out, though, that I used to have really bad abandonment issues. But like everything else in my life, they left. So my last girlfriend, she left me to go back out with her ex-boyfriend. And dude, that one was funny at first, and then it got really hurtful. And the reason why it was funny is because I remember when her and I first started dating, like the first month of our relationship, she just spent it telling me what a loser her ex was, right? So then when she left me for him, I was like, okay, have fun. Enjoy being with the guy who eats his toenails. Like, and then it hurt because I realized that she left me to be with someone who eats their toenails, you know? You're like, I can't compete with that guy? Come on. Oh, it was pretty fun, man. But it was good that me and her broke up because it was like we used to fight all the time. Her and I would have these fights. And it was funny because we'd fight about weird shit. Like we used to fight about money all the time. And I just never got it. I'm like, why are we fighting about something neither of us have? You know? And then it got bad because we started fighting about dreams. I don't know if anyone's ever had this, but she used to get mad at me over her dreams, you know? Dude, she would wake up and she'd be like, last night in my dream, you cheated on me. She'd like pour coffee on me and just hate me all day. But then when it got really bad was when she started getting mad at me over my own dreams. Yeah. She was like, hey, if you don't quit this comedy thing and get a real job, I'm leaving you. And woman of her word, you know, she did it. Well, don't worry, you guys. I still love her. I love my ex-girlfriend. I love all my ex-girlfriends. Pardon? Yeah, buddy, just like you. It's amazing. I love it. But no, I still love all my ex-girlfriends, you guys. I really do. Did you see that on a bumper sticker on the way over or what? Jesus Christ. Oh, perfect. You did it. That's out of that movie Superbad or something, isn't it? They're just like, no regrets, but it's regrets. That's hilarious. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a few people here. We're just trying to do a little thing, a work thing we got to do, you know? Like, I wouldn't come to your job and knock the mop out of your hand, you know? So. That felt very mean. I'm so sorry. You're a gardener? I wish you were doing that right now. Like, just dig like about a 6-foot hole. Just. I'm kidding, you guys. Okay. Oh my God, this show's off the rails. We'll try again next year. Let's let loose. Oh my God, amazing. Okay, so you guys, I still love all my ex-girlfriends, you know? I really do. I think they're all sweethearts. And the reason why is they all made me a better person, right? Like one of them taught me like how to dress and do my hair. One of them taught me how to like be healthy and take care of myself. One of them taught me not everyone can teach you something. So it's like, it's great, you know? Because you're just always learning. It's amazing. And I actually still talk to like all of my exes. Actually, I saw one the other day and she was like, hey, we should be friends with benefits. And I was like, sick, that was like my favorite thing we did together. Turns out the benefit is that she's staying on my Netflix account. Yeah, Netflix, Spotify, all the subscription services. Dude, that's a fun one for a lispy guy to say, hey, subscription services. You're like, Jesus Christ. And I'm wearing suspenders. Dude, I used to have to go to talking school for a lisp. Dude, I still have a lisp. My dad wants his money back. He's just pissed. But it was funny. So like when I was in elementary school, what I used to have to do is they would come and they would pull you out of class, and while the rest of your class was learning the alphabet, you got to learn the letter S. So dude, it was so embarrassing. They would take you and they would bring you to a separate room, and in that room, they would have a video camera, they would have a TV, and in the middle, they had the board game, Snakes and Ladders. Yeah. And then you would get to play Snakes and Ladders. And when you landed on the snake, they got way too excited, dude. It was great. They'd be like, okay, say it. Say slide down the slippery snake. Dude, Dude, and then they would film you, then they would put it on the TV, they would make you watch it, then you'd be like, you see how stupid you sound right now? You see that? So that's how you end up 34 and single. And, no, it's great. Dude, I love being single. I think it's great being single at this age because I like dating in my 30s. I just think it's so much better. Because in your 20s, like when I was younger, I used to date for dumb reasons. Like I would date strictly based off of looks, you know? Like I'd go and I'd see a girl, I'd be like, you know what? She looks like she would say yes. As where now the things that I look for will lead to like a loving, lasting relationship. So my next girlfriend, you guys, mandatory face tattoo. Yeah. Because that way I know that she'll commit to something that makes her look worse. So my buddies my age, they don't like being single. I think it's pretty cool being single in your 30s. My buddies hate it though. I got this one buddy, every time we hang out, he complains about dating. He's like, man, like dating at this age sucks. Like all the good ones are taken. The ones left have all these problems. I'm like, really? I'm like, what's that make us, jackass? We're just the two good ones that snuck through the cracks. You moron. Like, I get why I'm single, okay? My home address is a license plate number, all right? Yeah. The key for my car and the key for my house, same key, okay? Like, I'm not really the kind of guy you want to take home to your parents. But, like, you wouldn't have to. I'd just take my home to your parents, right? But I do think I'm getting better as a boyfriend. You know, I'm learning every day, becoming better and better. But I still have, like, I'm like anything, right? Like, I have my good days. I have my bad days. I'm like cryptocurrency. Yeah. Like, if you invest in me, I'll go down on you. So I love you guys. That's another thing about it. I'm just a big lover, you know, I do. I think love is the prize of life. I see a bunch of beautiful couples out here tonight, and I always say, like, if you found someone to go through life with and get to experience everything the world has to offer, I think you won the game, man. And that's amazing. And I hope that I get to do that. Oh, yeah. Give it up for some love. You guys love it. Oh, good. Now, I don't know if I will ever find that, you know? Because, ladies, I am awful at talking to women. Dude, it's so funny. Dude, like, now I'm afraid of it, too. Like, I used to try and talk to girls in public, but now they're just like, don't talk to them. Don't even look at them. Just leave them alone while they're doing their thing. And the last lady I went to talk to, she got very mad at me. So I'll tell you the story. You guys can let me know what you think, and we'll see. But basically, I saw a very pretty lady, and I walked up to her, and I said, excuse me, miss, you're beautiful. Do you have a boyfriend? That was about her reaction, just a blank stare, looking at you. And then it was followed by pure anger. So then she was like, okay. She goes, okay, first of all, she's like, ask if I have a boyfriend. All you're asking is, can you have sex with me and not get in trouble? She goes, and secondly, saying I'm beautiful, that means you only notice me for my looks. And I'm like, wow. I was like, okay. First of all, lady, if you and I have sex and you have a boyfriend, you get in trouble, not me. And secondly, saying you're beautiful means I only notice you for your looks. What else am I supposed to notice you for? Do you know what the other option is, you guys? I have to get to know you before I know you. Yeah. So now I have to follow you. Yeah. I have to learn your hobbies, your habits, your interests. So that when I approach you, instead of going, excuse me, miss, you're beautiful, do you have a boyfriend? I can go, hey, Sarah. Couldn't help but notice you walk your golden retriever when you get off work from the bank. I got a dog. Maybe go for a walk sometime. Yeah. That's gonna get me a date, right? Yeah, with a police officer. It was funny. My buddies, they always try and help me out, though. They're always like trying to give me advice. They're like, dude, you just try too hard. They're like, you know, you're always just trying too hard. They're like, you know what? You're gonna meet the woman of your dreams when you least expect it. And I'm like, no way. You're telling me that I'm gonna meet Alanis Morissette? No. While I'm taking a shit? Amazing. And then, like, I always get, like, I understand why I'm single. I don't have, like, a steady job. I don't have, like, a house or any, like, resources to offer, you know? So I understand, but my buddies, they always try to comfort me, but they just make it worse. Because they're like, Alex, like, those things don't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a house or, like, you have a good job. It's like what kind of person you are. And I'm like, dude, that's way worse, right? Here I am thinking I'm single for things I could easily change, like get a house and a job, and you're saying it's because I'm a shitty person. No, they always tell you too, you gotta buy flowers. They're like, you gotta buy women flowers. That's what you do. And I do, ladies, all the time. I love it. Every first date, I buy flowers. And I'll give you a hot little tip. Yeah, if you're gonna buy flowers on a first date and you're going to a restaurant, wait outside with the flowers. Don't go inside. Because if you get stood up, it's way less funny when you just walk out when you're already outside. That happened to me twice when I was in Australia. They're so bad. But here's the thing, I don't mind buying flowers, I think it's great, but I don't think there's any time in life that you get judged more than when you're buying flowers, right? It's so awkward, because like, very few people are looking at you like, oh, what a sweet man getting those flowers. The majority of them are looking at you going, wonder what this piece of shit's making up for. But I hope it works one day, you guys. I want to be a husband. I want to be a father. You know who really hopes that? Is my mother, dude. Oh, dude. Dude, it's crazy, man. My mom's always trying to get me a girlfriend. Like, she promotes me like I'm the vaccine. Yeah. She's like, hey, you should take this thing I made. She's like, it's free. It'll keep you safe. And then just like the vaccine, after I've been inside you, you're going to find out I don't work. So I come from a very loving family, you guys. They're very sweet. So my mom and my dad, they're still together. I'm a middle child, as you could tell, for my need for attention. But so I got an older sister, younger brother. And my parents, they've been married for 40 years. That's pretty unreal. Yeah. But it's funny, because like, I'll tell you, a lot of love there, but it doesn't look fun, you know? Like, I would say to me, marriage looks like taking your favorite song and then making it your alarm clock, you know? You're like, you used to bring me so much joy, but waking up to you every morning. But it's so fun. So, and the thing that holds my parents' relationship together, dude, is video games. Yeah, dude, my parents are gamers. Like, my mom is 65 and retired, and she plays more Fortnite than anyone I know. It's crazy, man. And it's always been this way. Like, our family game night used to literally be watching my dad play Tomb Raider. He'd be like Lara Croft, and my mom would sit beside him with the strategy guide. Yeah, and it was great, because it like combined everyone's favorite thing, right? Like, we got to spend time with our parents. Like, my dad got to play video games, and then my mom got to tell my dad what to do. So it was like, they loved it, dude. So I'll tell you a little bit about my mother. She's like a big knick-knack lady. So if you don't know what a knick-knack lady is, it's basically that if there's like a flat surface, she's putting something on it, okay? And it's crazy, because the stuff she puts on there, it's all junk. Like, my mom keeps stuff that doesn't even work anymore, like my father. And it's all just for decoration, right? Like, you can't use any of it. Like, she has like towels and candles and like, but you're not allowed to touch any of it. You go near it. She's like, hey, leave that alone. Hey, put that down. Don't touch that. That's just for decoration. I'm like, sorry, Mom. I was just trying to give Dad a hug. I'm just kidding, you guys. I've never hugged my father. What's funny, I look at my parents' relationship and I always think, because it's like, in every relationship, I think somebody likes somebody more, right? So in my parents' relationship, I look at it, it's definitely my dad. Like, my dad likes my mom more. Because like, I look at my mom, like, my mom likes clothes more than she likes my dad, you know? Yeah. Like, she'll lose weight for clothes. But my dad loves my mom so much that he like bought her a boat. So they retired and he bought her a boat and he named it after her. So they called it the Coral Sea. So my mother's name is Coral and it's very sweet. And then they put a little C on the back for sea. And every year they take this boat out from Vancouver over to Vancouver Island. And here's the thing. My mom fills this boat up with her little knickknacks like it's not a boat, okay? Yeah, so every time they go out on the water, my mom has to go inside the cabin and she is just down there trying to hold her life together. And she always gets so upset, she starts screaming up to my dad and she's like, Jesus Christ, Bill, what the hell are you doing up there? And my dad's like, sorry, Coral, I can't control the ocean. And I just feel that sums up marriage, you know? Just two people yelling and complaining to each other, which is great. Dude, but I think that's like my dad's favorite thing to do is complain. Just love it. You know what my dad's newest complaint is? It's so funny. His biggest complaint he has is right now he goes, nowadays, you know, these new vehicles, they build them so you can't even work on the dang things, you know? And that's a good laugh right there. Dude, did you just come from the dentist? It was like laughing gas out of that thing. It was amazing. Can we can that laugh and just play that the whole time? That would be amazing. This special is gonna be special. It's gonna be great, you guys. So anyway, my dad loves complaining. You know what his biggest complaint though is? That you can't work on the new vehicles, which I think is so funny. Because growing up, you know what my dad hated doing? Working on our vehicles. Yeah. So I go, hang on, let me get this straight, Dad. Your biggest complaint is that you can no longer do the thing you hated doing? But it's funny. I think it makes sense because humans, we just love to complain. It's just what we do, right? Like, do you guys remember when they brought in the self-checkouts at grocery stores? Do you remember how many angry old men were just storming around that place? Like, what do I work here now? Jesus Christ. Gotta go to work all day, come home now, do your job? It's like, hey, if I wanted to check my cell phone, I'd go home, look in the mirror, hey, buddy? Now, I guarantee you, if we took out those self-checkouts today and made them stand in a line, those same grumpy old men would be sitting in line going, just let me do it. Jesus Christ, I could be out of here by now, come on. But I think my dad earned the right to complain, you know? The guy, he was a very hardworking man. My dad worked hard for 40 years at the pulp mill to provide for our family. It was amazing. Yeah. Now, not to be outdone by my mother also worked very hard for 40 years making sure my dad worked at the pulp mill to provide for our family. So, like, very good. Team effort, you know? So we were very lucky. My dad, he'd spoil us. He'd always buy us, like, toys on TV, you know? Which, by the way, toys on TV, way cooler than in real life, right? Because on TV, there's always like two kids, and they'll have a Batman, and they'll like smash him through a set of blocks and jump him off a building, and the two kids high five, and it looks amazing. And then you get the toy at home, and it sucked, right? And it's because I didn't have any of the cool shit that they had on TV, right? Like, I didn't have the building or blocks or like friends, so like, no wonder it wasn't as fun. Now, I remember my favorite toy my dad ever got me when all the other kids my age were getting like a baseball glove and a baseball. My dad got me a boomerang. And I was like, sick, Dad, a boomerang. This is way cooler. Turns out he just didn't want to play catch with me. It's so fun, dude. And dude, I don't know, like, I feel so bad for my parents because me and my brother and sister, we were just so destructive, dude. Like, we ruined everything. Like, I remember being in the back of my mom's minivan. It was like, if you went in it, she had a minivan, and it looked like a Chuck E. Cheese that was like closing down, and management just decided to stop cleaning up after the parties, you know? Like, I remember being in the back of my mom's minivan with an orange pop, taking the lid off of the orange pop, pouring the orange pop into the cup holder, and then sticking a straw in the cup holder and sucking it out. Dude, we were so bad. I was like jamming Jolly Ranchers and Starburst into every crevice I could find. And then it wasn't just material shit we wrecked either. Me and my brother almost ruined my parents' marriage. Yeah, dude, it was like, I was probably like 10 years old, something like that, and me and my brother were hanging out. It was pretty late at night, and one of those like late night TV ads came on, you know? The ones that have like the girls dancing around, and they're like, call now. And me and my brother are like, dude, this will be hilarious. We gotta call this number, right? Now here's the thing, you guys. I'm 34. I don't know how to talk to women now. So back then, I was just like, who's your favorite Power Ranger? So anyway, we have a quick talk. Don't think much of it. Well, end of the month rolls around now, right? Yeah, phone bill comes in. I'm sitting in my room playing with my toys, wishing I had friends, and all I can hear from the kitchen is my two parents arguing. Next thing you know, my dad comes down the hall, knocks on the door, just, he's like, got the phone bill in his hand. And he goes, hey, Alex, you call any numbers on the TV lately? I'm like, no, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about. And then all I can hear from the kitchen is my mother scream, oh, yeah, sure, blame it on the kids, Bill, you son of a bitch. Oh, my God, dude. Dude, I was so worried about getting in trouble, I was gonna let him get divorced, you know? I mean, it would've sucked, but 2 Christmases would've been pretty sweet, right? Now, I really hope, like, for all the damage we've done, I hope one day that I can repay my parents for everything they've done for us, you know? They're actually phenomenal. And so, like, for Mother's Day last year, I did something a little different. I used to always get my mom flowers for Mother's Day, but then I realized, like, what a dumb gift that was. Because it's like, hey, Mom, I know you already have me, but here's something else you gotta take care of, otherwise it will die. So last year for Mother's Day, I was in Penticton doing a show at the Cleveland Theatre, and I brought my mom on tour for Mother's Day. It was very sweet, yeah. And I got her a room at the Penticton Lakeside Resort, and I put her on the top floor, and she had like a water view, and it was amazing. It just felt really good to be able to like give that to my mom, you know, through my art, yeah. Thank you. And I remember we were walking through the lobby of the hotel, and I put my arm around my mom, and I leaned and I said, Mom, one day I'm gonna tour the world, and I'm gonna sell out theaters all over, and I'm gonna bring you with me, and we're gonna get to travel together. Yeah, it was very sweet. And then my mom, she kind of leaned in and looked at me and said, Alex, how about you just worry about paying your cell phone bill this month, okay? Mama's got jokes, dude. So funny. Dude, thank you guys so much. Dude, this is so fun, dude. We couldn't do this for so long. Like, we weren't allowed to be out in public telling jokes, you know, with the whole COVID thing. Dude, during COVID, all we had to do, every comedian, we just had to, like, do jokes online. So I was, like, writing jokes every day and then putting them on TikTok. And it was going pretty good. Like, I started getting lots of views, lots of followers. It was great. But then this guy started stealing my jokes. Yeah, and then he reposted them, and then he started getting way more views than I was getting. And I was, like, upset about it. So I told my friend, dude, I thought I was mad. She was, like, really mad. She's like, what? He stole your joke, but you created that. That would be like someone stealing your baby. I was like, whoa. I'm like, relax, Rachel, that's a little extreme. I mean, if someone stole my baby, I wouldn't be trying to get it back. Now, you know the thing that I miss the most about COVID, you guys, is so in Canada here, we had a health official. So her name here was Bonnie Henry. And she would come around every Monday, she would have to come out and she would like give a statement, you know? She would talk and give us an update on things like what we're allowed to do, what we're not, all this stuff. And, you know, a lot of people didn't like her. At the beginning, I didn't like her either. But then over time, she just grew on me. And it grew and grew until eventually I fell in love with Bonnie. It was crazy, dude. And what it was is just that Bonnie reminded me of all of my ex-girlfriends. Because it was like, no matter how hard I tried, and how much I changed, she was still just so disappointed. Dude, she would come out and she would make a speech that Monday morning, and it sounded just like a speech that my ex-girlfriends would give me after a weekend of drinking with my buddies, you know? She would come out and she would just be like, this isn't working. You cannot go out. Every time you do, you get people sick. And I think that's the reason why COVID was so frustrating, is there were like these different rules depending on who you were, right? Like if you were a politician or celebrity, they're like jet setting around the world, going to their big galas, no face masks, nothing. Yet our government here in BC told us if we wanted to have oral sex, yeah, we gotta use a glory hole. Now, I don't know about you guys out there, but during a blowjob, I gotta see the face of the dude I'm blowing. Now, under full disclosure, you guys, I am a vaccinated anti-vaxxer, okay? Yeah, like I follow all the rules, but I think they're stupid, right? Like the mask rule, like I get why I should wear a mask. I have a lisp, so I'm a super spreader. But you guys, like you shouldn't have to do that, right? And then some of the rules, they were like such an overreach, right? Like they told us that we couldn't go and see our own parents. Do you know how hard it is to not see your parents when you live in their driveway? I remember my mom's just trying to bring me Christmas dinner. I'm like, Mom, leave it on the porch. It's frickin' COVID. And then I feel like somehow like bro science just made its way into real science, you know? Like the stuff we were doing. Like Canada ordered 400 million doses of the vaccine. Yeah, that sounds like something I would do during last call at the bar. Like, and then like our debit machines, they're like wrapping them up in plastic so you can like wipe them off. And you're like, dude, they're already plastic. Like, and I could just picture the bro science guy being like, bro, it's like wearing 2 condoms, bro. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense if we're trying to protect the machine from COVID. I'm like, that's like me wearing a condom while I'm getting screwed from behind. And then social distancing, you guys? Stupid, right? You guys, this virus came all the way from China. It's gonna go an extra 6 feet. Dude, I love this, man. This is the best job in the world. Like, you see, that's why I love comedy so much, you guys, is this right here. So it's like comedy can take something like COVID, this thing that divided all of us, caused us all so much pain and hurt, and then through the art form of comedy, it can bring a room full of strangers together, and we can laugh at it and take the power away from it. And that's why this is the best job in the world. Thank you guys so much. So actually, jokes are like very near and dear to me. Something I do is I go around, I teach joke writing seminars for the Canadian Mental Health Association. So yeah, which is a very near and dear thing to me because I have mental health. You know, I'm a millennial. We came with that stock out of the gate. It was great. But it's so funny because like us millennials, we don't have like real mental health problems, right? Like I got like PTSD, but the millennial version, yeah, where it's over shit that hasn't happened. So it's actually a pre-traumatic stress disorder. Like, dude, this afternoon, I was so sad. I was sitting in my RV and I was just like, man, sure gonna suck when my cat dies. Like, I don't have a cat. But it's so fun. So I go around and I teach these joke writing seminars called The Participants, and it just feels really cool to be able to give them another tool that they can use to help with their mental health struggles, and that makes me feel very warm in my heart. So I'll give you guys a hot little tip. I'll teach you all how to write a quick little joke. Yeah, it's great. I think everyone should do comedy, man. It's the best thing in the world. So one of the easiest joke writing theories is called benign violation theory. So basically what you do is you just come up with a list of violations and then find a way to make them okay. So that's why, yeah, that's why someone falling down a flight of stairs is hilarious as long as they get up, right? Yeah, because like if they're hurt, it's really funny. No, it's they're hurt, you're like, oh boy. So like, I'll give you an example. So like a violation would be like, I beat my dog today. I mean, I'm not proud of it. I mean, he doesn't even know how to play chess. Yeah, so there's a little PG for you guys, a little light. We'll crank it up for you. So here's a little darker, a little R dirty version for you. So violation again, ready? My mom pays for sex all the time. Yeah, like she doesn't know though. Like she thinks I'm borrowing money for groceries. I love that joke, you guys. Because smart people like that joke. Stupid people think I have sex with my mom. Right? See? Dude, every show, there's a guy leaning in. He's like, what is the joke then? Like, so fun. So I borrow money. I say, Mom, can I borrow money for groceries? And then I use it on other stuff. It's a joke. I don't actually do that. So I'll tell you guys a couple more joke writing theories. So what you can do is there's like a thing you do is like funny filters. So like wordplay. Wordplay is a very common one. So that's basically any pun. So any word that has a double meaning, great for wordplay. So like a verb or anything. So I'll give you an example. It would be like the word like ball or balls, right? There are a lot of different meanings there. So here we go. Here's a joke. What is it? You know what my favorite thing about playing golf is? After I'm done a round, I can remember the last 18 holes I pounded my balls into. Now what you can do is you can do wordplay and analogy. So you can compare two dissimilar ideas with wordplay. You can really get cooking. So like another fun one is like, ready? I think playing golf is like giving hand jobs. Yeah, the better you are at it, the fewer strokes it takes. Now here's one for my hillbilly buddies. You guys will love this one. Ready? In bed, I'm like a dirt bike. Loud, powerful, and I come in 2 or 4 strokes. Dude, so fun. So something that seemed important. So you guys all go home, practice some jokes, learn them, have a fun time with them. So something that seemed very important during COVID, you guys, was to get healthy. It seemed like a very good idea to try to get healthy. Now, one thing actually, when they poll people, when they ask what the 2 most important things in the world are, it's health and happiness. And they say health slightly edges out happiness, because if you're not healthy, you can't be happy. And that is where all of my struggles in life come from. Because everything that makes me happy is unhealthy, you know? Like fast food, drinking, comedy. So anytime I start doing things that make me happy, I get unhealthy, and then you can't be happy when you're not healthy. It's like this Rubik's Cube. Every time I solve one problem, I just make 5 more, you know? But I think health is so funny, because health, it's so simple, but it's not easy, right? Like, do you know what the healthiest things in the world are? It's like sleep, meditation, fasting. You know what all 3 of those things have in common? You know what they require you to do? Nothing. Nothing. They're like, just shut it down. Quit doing what you're doing. You'll live longer. Trust me. But still, like, that's why I think meditation's so funny, because meditation's been proven by science to like fix your brain and make you feel better, and you have to do nothing. And I'll literally be like, oh, I don't know if I have the energy to meditate today, you know? Just can't seem to find it. And I'll just like scroll my phone for 3 hours, like. And I think it's funny too, because meditation, they're actually using in schools now to like replace time out, which is funny because that's like the opposite of our time out, right? Like they're like, you know what? You go in the corner and don't think about what you've done. And then like another thing to get healthy is like I've been going to the gym. Like going to the gym is one of my favorite things to do. But the gym I find is crazy, dude. It's like one of the craziest business models on the planet. Because it's the only place I know of where I'm paying the money, then I'm doing all the goddamn work, you know? Yeah. Like, dude, imagine that at any other job. Imagine you like go see a mechanic, you bring your car in, you're like, hey, I need my car to get fixed. He's like, okay, that'll be like $1,200 and the hoist is right over there. And you're like, what? I don't know how to do any of this. He's like, we can assign you a personal mechanic. And I'm like, oh, sick, and then he'll do it for me? They're like, oh, no. He'll tell you what to do. That's about it. Now, another thing to get healthy, you guys, is I got into fasting. I don't know if anyone's ever done any fasting, but so every year I do like a really big one. So last year I did a 2-week water fast. Yeah. So basically I take my van, me and my dog Finley, we drive into the mountains, and then I don't eat food for 2 weeks. Don't worry, my dog eats, it's fine. But everyone's like, dude, that must be so hard to not eat for 2 weeks. And I'll tell you, there was something else I was trying not to do for 14 days. Only lasted 9. So, not the hardest thing, apparently. Now, when I did that, I ended up losing like 25 pounds. And it was quite a bit. But then, like, you're never excited about it when you do it that way, you know? Because I think losing weight's like losing a cat, right? Like, it's gonna come back. But while it's gone, I'm gonna be out looking for pussy. Now, another thing I tried to do over COVID there to get healthy was tried to get sober. I've struggled with sobriety my whole life, mostly because it starts with the letter S. But dude, do you want to know what the hardest part about getting sober is? It's fucking hanging out with sober people, dude. Dude, they're so boring. They're just constantly trying to tell you how cool they used to be. Dude, it's like hanging out with a band member from Limp Bizkit, you know? And then they've got this saying in the sober community. They kind of get on their high horse a little bit, and they give you this one. They go, if you want to know who your true friends are, quit drinking and see who's still there in 1 year. I'm like, what? I'm like, you left them. Like, they still want to go drinking every weekend. You don't drink. Why would they call you? You know, that was like when I sold my snowmobile, I didn't expect my buddies to call me up like, hey, Alex, you want to go sledding this weekend? You're like, fuck off, Kevin. You know I quit. Besides, you guys, I think the opposite. I think if you want to get to know who your true friends are, start drinking. Yeah. Because last summer, you guys, I got so drunk, I passed out naked in my buddy's bathtub with the shower running, and I flooded his entire house. Yeah. And he's still one of my best friends to this day. So I say if you want to get to know who your true friends are, start drinking, fuck some shit up, and see who sticks around. Boy. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming here tonight, man. This has just been amazing. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Oh, thank you. No. So you guys, just before I leave, I want to give you a little talk here. So 4 years ago, I gave up everything in my life for this. My house, my job, the respect of my family. But what it was is I approached 30, I started questioning what I really wanted to do with my life. So I started going to therapy, I quit drinking, and then 6 months later, I quit my job, I sold my house and everything I own, and I bought an RV for me and my dog Finley to tour the country doing stand-up comedy. Yeah. Which is pretty funny, you guys, because here's the thing. So I got sober, and then I became homeless and unemployed. like doing this whole thing backwards, you know? And then I created a vlog, and I called it an experiment called Life. And I chose that name because I think life's an experiment, and the solution we're looking for is our happiness. Yeah, right? Now, people so what you can do is you can go online, you can see from the moment I quit my job, you can watch me move into the van, tour all over, go through COVID, all of that. Now, people always ask me, they go, dude, was it worth it? And I will tell you guys right now, chasing a dream is the funnest thing in the world, dude. Like, you guys, I'm sober now for the most part. And I spend every day like I'm high on MDMA. Dude, it's crazy, dude. I can't sit still, I can't sleep, and I love everybody, man. It's crazy. I'm just calling people up, and I'm just like, man, I miss you. I love you. And they're like, oh, that's great. This is Domino's. You want to order something, or? Now, people also ask me about the money, you know. They go well, what kind of money can you make doing comedy? And I always tell people, if I was doing this for money, I would have stayed at my old job. Now I'm doing it for something much bigger than that. And that's my passion and legacy. So, yeah. Yeah, one life. So in Mexico, they have a thing called the Day of the Dead. And what they actually believe is that you die twice. So they say once is when you leave this planet, and the second time is the last time someone mentions your name. So people like Shakespeare still live on through the art that they've created. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I hope one day I create something that allows my name to live on long after I'm gone. We love you, Alex! Oh, come on. I mean, you guys, people still do mention Hitler all the time, so different ways we can do this, you know? Now, people always say to me, they go, dude, you're so brave. That's so brave of you to quit your job, you know, and do the thing. You're so brave. And now I don't think brave is the right word, you know? I think it's just as I got older, I started to care less, you know? Yeah. About living, right? Because you realize that today is the same as yesterday, which is the same as the day before. Like you're gonna go to some job you're sick and tired of going to make money to pay bills you're sick and tired of paying. It's just like lather, rinse, repeat. Like who knew the directions on shampoo were actually for life? But the real thing that scared me wasn't quitting my job, but it was staying at it. Because I didn't want to look back on my life in 30 years and wonder if I'd spent my life doing the wrong thing. Because I think the worst thing you can do with your life is spend it doing the wrong thing. Now, I would never try to tell you what the right thing is. It's different for everybody, you know? Like some people, they like working in heavy industry. Some people like arts. I mean, some people like kissing their cousins, you know? And I'm not judging what they're doing over there in Newfoundland. That's totally fine, right? Like, as long as your joy doesn't come from someone else's suffering, who gives a shit? So what my goal is, you guys, is I tour around the country doing comedy. I hope that I can inspire people to follow their hearts instead of their bank accounts. However, I did call this thing an experiment for a reason, and experiments fail all the time. So I could just inspire people to stay at their job, you know? They'd be like, you see that guy over there with the house on wheels? That's why it's okay to have dreams. Just as long as you don't believe in them too much. But the only way this thing fails, you guys, is if I like give up and I put a time limit on it, you know? And I always say this, I always say that I'd rather go down on a sinking ship than spend my life on one that never left the docks. Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not on a ship, I'm in a van, but it's like the ship, the van, the whole thing, like, it's a metaphor. It's just a metaphor for the vehicle, for the thing that's gonna take you from your current life to your dream life. So as I leave tonight, if I'd say to you guys, if there's anything that you've ever thought of doing, or any dream you've ever thought of going after, my final words to you would just be like, just get in the van. You guys, my name's Alex Mackenzie. You have been an absolute night. This has been the best night of my life. I love you, Prince George.